everyone, welcome to Chemistry and Society at Rock Valley College. I am your instructor, Dr. Liz Hansen. I will try to keep this video as brief as possible. I know it's difficult to watch really long videos and keep up, but all the information in here is really important. I would be presenting this if we were meeting face-to-face, which we're not. You've signed up for an online class, so we'll talk about that as well. We're going to go through the syllabus. I'll introduce you to the class and show you some other resources that you should be viewing and reading about. All right, so let's get started. This is our course homepage. If you have not taken a class in Eagle before, this may look a little foreign to you, but I promise it's pretty self-explanatory. I've tried to limit the links over here. Most of them we're not even going to use. Announcements, let's just talk about that. Announcements, the most recent announcement, like the one I just posted tonight, is right here. You are responsible for all the information posted in the announcements. So kind of make it a habit the first time you come into a class every day or when you log in to read the announcement. And to read it, you simply click on it. Okay, and so let's start off with, what are you supposed to do? Obviously, you're already watching this video, so you've probably read my announcement or seen my emails. First thing you need to do before you do anything else is get your lab kit. We'll talk about that more in a little bit in terms of what it entails, but you either need to order it online and realize it can take a week to get it. You need it by the end of week 1. If you don't have time to order it, or if you've got financial aid, or if you just want to go through our bookstore, you can also walk over to the bookstore and walk out with the lab kit in your hands. So keep that in mind. If you wait too long, you'll have to go to the bookstore. There won't be time to order it, but you've got several options, which again I'll talk about more in a little bit. You're watching this welcome video right now, and then finally when you're ready, as it says here, click on modules, that's here, and then the Start Here module, which we'll get to in a little bit. Now, what you'll notice is, maybe you noticed it, maybe you didn't, there was a little blue dot here next to this announcement, and until I read it, it stayed blue. So you'll know if you've opened and read the announcement. Hopefully just by the preview here, you would remember, oh yeah, I've already seen that, I don't need to see it again, but that's what's going on there. We're going to talk about the stuff here in the middle in a second. Over on the right-hand side is your to-do list. You've got several things. Again, the first week of any class is usually a little overwhelming. I find it's a little more so in an online class, just because you're also trying to get familiar with the online environment. Again, especially if you've not taken a hybrid or an online class before. So we've got a lot of stuff to do in week 1. Just hang tight and get through it. My recommendation is to do one thing every day. Spend a little bit of time each day versus waiting till the last minute when things can happen and just having tons of work to do, becoming overwhelmed, or maybe even running into an issue of some sort. So this is what we've got going on this first week. You can see the due dates for everything. This is my announcement. The other things are assignments, labs, things like that. Okay, so here's the video that I'm showing you right now. My information, if you click on here, my name, this is my contact information. I am a full-time faculty member. I'm also department chair, so I'm kind of in and out and around. You can see my office hours. I do hold some online, so for those that are not able to come to campus or not at these times when I'm on campus, we can also meet in my virtual online office, which you just click on this. Zoom is the name of the program. Whoops, I have to fix that link. I have instructions though created. They're down here. I just have the wrong link there, sorry. And so you can see every Tuesday we're in class. I need to take out spring break. I'm online at 9 a.m. You can add it to your calendar as a reminder if you want. Otherwise, on the Tuesday at 9 a.m. to join, you just come back to this page and click on highlight, copy, paste this link. Or you can just call in by phone, whatever you want to do. So that's my online office hour. Let me go back to more about me. These things on the front page also, they'll stay there all semester. So I have a mailbox in the JCSM building, the Jacobs Center for Science and Math. The FSO, which is the Faculty Support Office on the first floor, right off inside the main doors. I have a mailbox. Typically that office is only staffed 8 to 4 though, just as an FYI. You can always slide something under the door with my name. As long as it's clear who it goes to, somebody will drop it in my box next time they walk in the door. Or if you're going to slide something under a door, you also could just do it to my office door, which is on the second floor, room 2017. My office phone, and then there's my cell phone. I'm fine with you guys sending text messages. Just please make sure they're emergencies and not basic questions that couldn't be answered in an email. And then finally, there's my RVC email. You can also contact me through Eagle as well, which I'll show you as we go through the class. All right, let's go back to the home page. The syllabus we're going to go through here in just a second. Again, this will be up here all semester, so if you ever have a question, when you have a question, what's the late work policy? Do you drop an exam? All these kinds of questions, come back to the syllabus and read it. We're going to go through it today, but whenever you have a question, the very first place you should check is the syllabus. If you can't find it there, then reach out to me. If it was in the syllabus, I'm going to send you a screenshot of what you missed. So you can get a much quicker answer and avoid some frustration by just reading the course syllabus. Tech support, if you have any issues, whether it's with our lab kit, there's their phone number and email. The McGraw-Hill Connect, that's our online, technically learning modules and exams. Your textbook and all that is through McGraw-Hill Connect. There's a phone number and a form to fill out. I recommend the phone number. And then RVC's RVC's Eagle phone number or email to contact as well. So we will be utilizing these 3 different things all semester, so just make sure you've got those handy in case you have an issue. I can try to tech support some of it, but oftentimes it's either your browser, you need to update it, you need to try a different browser. Mozilla Firefox seems to work the best. And beyond that, if it gets real technical, I probably can't help you. So those are the tech support numbers. Again, this is an online class. You're doing this at your house or your work or wherever you work from or plan to work on the class, and it is a science class with a lab. So you're going to be doing labs at home, and so you have to purchase a lab kit, and we're going to go through that just a little bit. Start here. That's actually where you're going to click, and I'm going to click here in just a second to begin the class and show you where the things are. A couple other things, some RVC student resources. This is just our general student services page. And then also our PAIC statement as well for my class. Okay, so that's everything on the home page. Let's go through the syllabus and then we'll jump into the actual class itself. So you can click on the syllabus and it will download. And so here is our class syllabus. Again, my contact information, things that were in class, it's also over here. Description of what this class is for. As a reminder, this class is for those working on an Associates of Arts degree, not an AS degree. It will not be counted as your pair of physical sciences in terms of 2 chemistry if you're working on Chem 120, for instance. Recent high school chemistry or our Chem 99 is recommended, but not required. I find a lot of my students haven't had chemistry, and that's okay. This is a very liberal arts basic chemistry, and you can still be successful. So prerequisites, what are they? The required prereqs involve reading and math. So if you are watching this video and you got in the class, you've had these prerequisites or they wouldn't let you in. Again, method of delivery, this is an online class, so everything is provided through online learning. The course objectives, you guys can read through all these things as you want to and you're interested. Required readings and supplies, so you need to have access to our textbook, which is called Chemistry in Context, but you also need an access card. That is for the McGraw-Hill Connect material. Now, the good news is that this comes with the class if you opt in. And I'll show you when we get started with the class. In fact, let me just show you right now. How do you opt in? So we're doing something new with this class, and that is that for a course fee, a much, much reduced course setup, we're doing this new, it's called a first day program, and that is instead of going to the bookstore and spending, I don't know, I think for this class it was around $180 for a textbook and access card, you're going to have access to the materials directly. So again, do not go buy a book, don't go buy an access card. As long as you opt in, You'll be charged a class fee, which is I think approximately $80 or less, and you'll get the same material. And again, that's just for the book and the access card. Now, how do you do that? How do you opt in? Well, if you click here for course materials, and it takes a minute, in the first 2 weeks, and this might be because I'm a student, within the first 2 weeks of class, there'll be like a page here that asks you, do you want to opt into this program? And you would select yes, unless you want to spend more money. Once you've opted in, and again, I'll have to work on this, guys, the course material in terms of the textbook, what's called the chapter Learn Smarts, and the exams are all in McGraw-Hill Connect. However, you access them through the course. Okay? So, and again, I'm doing Eagle as a student. So this is what it'll look like for you when you first go in. You're going to enter your email. Put my email in. And it might recognize maybe you already have a McGraw-Hill account. Maybe you've done a biology class or something. This may not work perfect for me because it knows I'm not really a student. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. Anyways, that's what you do. So those should work for you. Click course materials within the first week to opt into the program. And then you just need to click McGraw-Hill Connect and get yourself set up. And again, you always go through Eagle to access this. You never go to an external website or anything like that. Okay, back to our syllabus. So I listed the ISBN, on the syllabus here, but again, don't go purchase the book and the access card. Whoops, there's the ISBN. Only if you plan to opt out and spend a little more money, which kind of seems silly, but that is the ISBN and the information for the book and the access card. This is the only thing that comes with that first day program. Okay, just so you're aware, that's it. What you also need to buy, the hands-on lab kit, which again I'm going to walk you through in a separate video. You have to have the kit by the end of the first week. This you can purchase online directly from them or from the bookstore. You're going to need to have a scientific calculator. In all honesty, you could probably use the one on your phone. I use the one on my iPhone. I simply turn it to the horizontal view, and it changes from just a standard calculator to a scientific one. And then you'll need a digital camera as well, which typically comes in with the phone, if you're going to use your phone, to take pictures of the lab. And then finally, there are additional materials that are needed for the lab that are not included with the kit. And again, I have a separate lab page and information about those. Most of the things are things you're already going to have. Pen or pencil, aluminum foil. But keep an eye, check the list, don't wait till the last minute until you're out of until you don't have something and it's too late. So. Okay, next thing, here are the graded assignments. 4 exams, but I only count your top 3, so I do drop your lowest of many things. So we take 4 exams, I count 3 of them. They're each worth 100 points. One final exam, it can't be dropped, it's worth 100 points. We have 13 labs in the class, I only count your 12 highest scores. Each lab is worth 15 points. These chapter Learn Smarts, which is where you go into the book, and as you read through the chapter, it asks you questions. And so you're kind of doing homework while you do the chapter, but it's called the Learn Smart module. And we have 12 chapters this semester, so I count your top 11 scores. Movie summaries. You're going to watch some documentaries about things that are related to basically environmental chemistry. And I think most of them you'll find pretty interesting. You're going to write a very brief summary of each of those. We have 10 movies scheduled. I count your highest 9. There's the syllabus introductory video quiz that you do in the first week. It's worth 10 points. And then there's a discussion where you introduce yourself, get to know your classmates a little better, and that's worth 5 points. Now, you might notice there's no extra credit in this class. And that's for several reasons. One, this is at home, essentially asynchronous, where you have 1 week to complete all the work, but I drop over 125 points. So that's a whole lot of free extra credit, essentially. So no, there's no extra credit offered. Please don't ask. Now, that being said, there's nothing scheduled, and if you ask, you won't get any. However, once in a while, in one of my weekly announcements, I may offer a couple of points to do something. So you always want to make sure you're checking my announcements, watching my weekly, I make very short, like 5-minute or less videos each week. Make sure you're watching those, and you may get a couple of points given to you through the semester for doing something. So there's that. My standard a 90, 80, 70, 60 grading scale, and then here in the red, if your final grade will be rounded up to the next highest letter grade if you were within 0.5% of the next highest grade. So 89.5% would be an example of that. That would get rounded up to the 90 if, and only if, you have no zeros in the grade book. Now, that includes dropped everything. That means you've done every single assignment, every single graded activity, all 4 exams, the final, all 13 labs, all 12 chapter Learn Smarts. You kind of see where I'm going here? So you have to do all the work in the class for me to round you. And you have to be within 0.5%, okay? Nothing, you know, greater than that, and if you have any zeros, that's out. So that's the policy on that. All right, let's talk about what you can expect from me. First, I am here to help you succeed. I want you to be successful in the class. I'm your biggest cheerleader, and I'm your biggest resource. This means also that I'm available to you in our online class, during my scheduled office hours, on email. There's all sorts of ways for you to get a hold of me. What this doesn't mean is that I'm available 24 hours a day. You know, you send me a message, send me an email, it's going to take a day or two possibly for me to reply. If I'm online, it may be in a few minutes, but all I can do is promise that it will be within 48 hours. So again, this is another reason, don't wait until Sunday night when all your work is due, you encounter an issue, and you reach out to me and I'm not available, I'm not responding immediately. Don't expect immediate response. 48 hours is your response time from me. And then as far as grading goes, academic weeks, I'm going to jump over here for a second. Each academic week runs Monday through Sunday, with the exception of our final exam week. So all due dates for the week, everything is due on next Sunday. So for instance, our class starts Monday, January 14th. Our week 1 work is all due January 20th at 11:59 p.m. Grading is done within 72 hours of the end of the academic week. So even if you do something first thing on Monday, there's a good chance I won't actually grade it until the following Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay, I wait till everybody's in, all their work's done, and I grade, for instance, all the, excuse me, all the movie summaries at the same time. Okay, sometimes it's quicker. I try to grade Monday or Tuesday at the latest, but I give you a 3-day window just in case something's going on. If it's going to be any later than that, I'll send you a message. Maybe I'm sick, something's going on, and it may be a little longer. It's typically not, though. Okay, you're responsible for all the information provided in this syllabus. In the lab details document, we're going to go through in a separate video. What's posted in an Eagle, announcements, emails, any communication from me. You are responsible for all of that information. So again, you're an online student. What does that mean? Does that mean that this class is easier, or that you only have to spend 10 minutes a week in the class? No. The benefits to online learning is that you can work at your own schedule. Maybe you've got a really busy work schedule and you weren't able to find a class on campus that would work with your schedule. Maybe you like online learning, all sorts of reasons for taking the class. But what I find students struggle the most with is time management. They wait until Sunday night to do everything, or they forget about things. So be really, really mindful of your due dates. It's really, really important that you do that. And while I'm speaking of that, a couple of things. We'll get to the schedule in a second, but Rock Valley College uses, we call it Eagle. It's actually a program called Canvas, C-A-N-V-A-S. If you go to your smart device and you're at either your app store or I can't remember what the Android one is called, but download the Canvas, C-A-N-V-A-S, Canvas app for students. And you can log into RVC. You can have Eagle set up on your smart device. I also recommend you turn notifications on. The notifications will remind you about things you have due, like these things. It will also alert you when I've sent a message, an email, when I've posted an announcement, or when I've graded something. So please, please get that app, turn on notifications, and use it. And a lot of the stuff in our class you can actually complete through the Canvas app on your tablet or on your smartphone. Okay, let's talk about some other things here. The syllabus and introductory video quiz, I'm going to show you where that is in a second. It's worth 10 points. It's due by Sunday, January 20th, the end of week 1. No late quizzes are accepted, no exceptions to the due date, any of that. It's on Eagle, and again, I'll show you in just a second where it is. This is one, though, that you can retake. So I want you to get 10 points. I want you to answer all of the questions correctly and have a really good understanding of what's going on in the class and what's expected of you. So I'll show you that in just a little bit. Chapter readings. You are required and expected to read each of the chapters. We're using an e-textbook for this class, again, through the McGraw-Hill Connect. You want to access the Smart Book, though. And again, I've got a separate video to try to keep videos a little shorter that I'll show you how to access the e-text and all that in just a little bit. In week 1, just in week 1, we have a required discussion forum, and it's just to introduce yourself and meet your classmates. Again, it's in the week 1 module. Exams. Every couple of chapters, we have exams. Open book, open note. You're doing it at home on your own time. They're multiple choice, worth 100 points. You only get one attempt, though, to take the exam, and the exams, just like they would be in a face-to-face class, they're time sensitive. So you have 2 hours from the time you first open it. If you're having issues with the exam, let's say you open it, your browser freezes, you can close out, come back in, the timer's still ticking, but I find my students rarely tell me it actually took them 2 hours to complete the exam. Otherwise, if you're having issues, you want to reach out immediately to McGraw-Hill Tech Support, take screenshots, contact me as well, let me know what's happening. And you need to do that before the due date. Don't come back to me on Monday or Tuesday and say, well, I had issues with the exam. Well, the exam was due Sunday. Why am I just hearing about it now? So it's also another reason not to wait till Sunday night to the last minute in case something happens. Final exam. There is a comprehensive open book, open note, online multiple choice final exam over all 12 chapters we cover. You have to do it by Thursday, May 16th, just before midnight. That is the end of final exams. It's online, worth 100 points. It is done, though, in Eagle, not McGraw-Hill Connect. And I'll remind you of that as we get closer to the final exam. All right, so what I'm calling, I used to call them homeworks. Now the better name for it is the Chapter Learn Smart. You use the Smart Book option when you go to Connect. And again, I'm going to show you that in another video. So you go to the McGraw-Hill Connect link here. Anytime you need to work on a homework or an exam, or a Chapter Learn Smart, I should say. As you read the chapter, you'll answer questions, and as long as you do it, you should get 10 points. As long as you're within the due date. We do 12 chapters. I drop your lowest one. And again, you want to access this directly through Eagle and not through a separate website. And that's because that Connect through Eagle links to our gradebook. So you do work, and usually it takes about 24 hours or less. The grades will sync up with the Eagle gradebook, and I have access to those. If you're doing it through some other source, through a different website, I don't have access to your work and you can't get credit. So, all right, let's talk about these movies. You're responsible for watching several movies this semester. You're going to watch the movie, and then you're going to write me a 1-page summary. Now, don't panic. This isn't a composition class. I'm just looking for some real basic things. One, it needs to be written in your own words. Okay, don't copy. Basic spelling, grammar, punctuation. I don't need any citations, nothing like that. It needs to be 1 full page, typed, double-spaced. Hey, that's good. 12-point Times New Roman font. So all of these requirements have to be there. Then you're going to summarize the movie in a couple paragraphs, and then the other couple paragraphs, let's say, how it applies to our class. Why did I pick that movie? The body of the essay has to be the 1 full page. In fact, your name, title, you don't even need to put that on there. You're creating the document, saving it, uploading it into Eagle. I'm going to pull it off of your account in Eagle. If you want to make fancy title page or whatever, that's fine. Just recognize anything else other than the body of the essay does not count towards the one full page requirement. That's probably the biggest issue I have with students in terms of losing points, is that they're not following the minimum requirements of, the length of the paper. I do drop your lowest one, so if you miss a movie, don't have time some week, forget about a movie or whatever, that'll be your dropped. But don't forget about the rounding at the end of the semester policy. No zeros. That includes everything. You have to submit these in Eagle. There's a drop box for each, which I will show you. Late movie summaries are accepted, but are docked 1 point per day, and they're only worth 5 points. So make sure you're watching those and writing up your summaries. Again, here's yet again technical support contact information. Here's the course late work policies. Most things are not accepted late. And again, there's no exceptions to that. I drop so many things. Even if you miss an exam or you're sick and you didn't do the exam, that'll be your dropped exam. Again, the course is open now. You can work in advance. At the very least, you have a week to do all the work. If you get sick at the last minute, that's going to be, if hopefully that's your only one, that'll be your dropped. So plan ahead. I try to work at the beginning of the week, at least when I was an online student, and then if something happens, I've got some days at the end to, finish some things up, but please don't wait till Sunday. Inevitably, things will happen, okay? Your labs are accepted late, but they're docked 2 points per calendar day. They're due on Sunday, so come Monday, even if it's 1 a.m. on Monday, you're losing 2 points just for that reason alone, and then any other deductions you might get in errors in the lab. Movies are 1 point per day. The final exam cannot be completed late. Class is over, locked, and done. Thursday, May 16th. Our introductory discussion, that forum that we're going to meet each other in, can't be made late. And then the last day for submitting late work, any late work, is actually Sunday, May 12th, and there's no exceptions to this. So again, late work doesn't mean anything. It just means what is accepted late, movies and labs. So, and always watch that. If you miss a week 3 lab and want to do it in week 7, it's not going to be worth any points. You've lost 2 points per day. And as you're going to see in a little bit here in this next paragraph, missing labs is critical. So you want to be really, really careful you're on top of the labs and you're doing your labs. Okay, attendance. So it's an online class. Obviously, I don't take attendance. You work asynchronously throughout the week. I expect that you're in the classroom several times a week. There's a lot of material, as I've been saying, and assignments, and we've got, whoops, this is not condensed summer term. I'll fix that before you watch this video. But there's a lot of material to cover even in 16 weeks. Several items due each week, so keep up with the work. Now, there is a missed lab policy, and this was the same, and this is the same in our face-to-face labs, the chemistry labs, or the online. Lab is an essential component to the class. You're getting credit for being in lab. So, if you fail to complete 3 or more labs, you will see your final letter grade affected. If you miss 3, your letter grade is lowered by 1. So maybe you earn a C in the class, but you miss 3 labs, then you're going to get a D. If you miss 4 labs, your final letter grade is lowered by 2. Miss 5 or more, and you fail the course. We're only doing 13. This does include your 1 drop score, meaning I look at the grade book and count up how many zeros in total you have, just in the grade book. All the grades listed, I look at your zeros for lab, so be really careful. I try to remind students if I notice they're getting close, but I can't guarantee that I'm going to give you that reminder. So this is your reminder. Again, we do lab experiments. We'll talk about that separately. Grade disputes. If you have any issues with grades, please let me know, within the week, because it's fresh on my mind, and I'm glad to talk through that with you. All right, I don't know why I have a blank page here. Here's our detailed weekly topic outline and schedule. So I print this and hang this up in my office. That's just a recommendation. You also will see this when we're in Eagle in terms of each week has dates, things like that, but this is kind of your overall. Maybe you put this in your calendar if you use your calendar on your phone like I do. So you can see week 1 starts January 14th. You should be working through chapter 1, which is titled Portable Electronics. It's kind of a fun chapter. You've got a syllabus quiz to do, an introduction discussion forum, your chapter 1 Learn Smart. That's where you read through the chapter and answer the questions all together, doing it at once in the Smart textbook online. And then your first lab is called Getting Started. And that's again where you're going to need your lab kit before you can submit it so make sure you've got your lab kit in your hands before you submit the actual lab. You can do the lab itself while you're waiting for your kit, but you can't actually complete and submit it before you've got your kit, because you've got to do something with it. All right, so there's all of that. Final exam we've talked about. Last day to withdraw from a course at RVC is Friday, April 12th. And then these are the basic RVC policies: academic honesty, students with disabilities, early alert, electronic devices. Obviously you're at home. You have to in fact use an electronic device to be in an online class, so that's fine. Withdraw policy. I will not withdraw students. If you aren't actively participating, you will just continue to get zeros and you'll earn an F. So if you decide that you're going to stop taking the class, you need to withdraw yourself. Please do withdraw yourself. Otherwise, again, you'll see an F on your transcript. And then finally, disclaimer, certain circumstances may require changes to this. I will let you know of any of those. Again, with the online class, this rarely happens. The only thing kind of additional might be, as I said a little bit ago, I might throw in some opportunities for a couple of extra credit points here and there, but I don't promise those ever. So those are just bonus. All right, so that's the syllabus. Now, once we've looked at our announcements and we've done all this, we're going to click modules to get started. And right now, whoops, there's only supposed to be a couple of modules open. I'll have to look at, yeah, it's locked. Okay, so the modules open a week at a time, and they will stay open. In fact, when you're done with one, you can close it, so that reminds you, hey, I did all these things. I'm going to close this up and move on to the next one. So start here again, and really week 1 is open. If you're watching this before January 14th and you want to get in and get going, by all means, go for it. There's a welcome from me you can read here. This is our introduction discussion forum where I say, hey, share this with us. Share some information. It doesn't have to be these things, whatever you want to share with us. It needs to be at least 50 words, and then you also have to reply to 2 other posts. And one can be mine. I've already answered the questions and told you a little bit more about me. So you're welcome to do that. And when you're ready to get started, introduce yourself. That's an easy 5 points. The syllabus quiz. So let me open that up. That's the one I've been talking about. So here you go. It's due January 20th. It's worth 10 points. It's 10 questions. You can take it over and over till you get it right. And there's no time limit. So it'll open tomorrow. Let's see. I probably won't let me take it. I don't have it open quite yet. Nope, not quite yet. Okay, so we'll work on that. Lab instructions. Let me just kind of show you this real quick. Again, this is a YouTube video. These instructions, I'm going to show you where those are at in a second. I give you instructions for how to purchase online directly from the manufacturer, which saves you about $80, how to purchase from the bookstore, and then just some other, information. Now this is for last semester, but the information applies the same. I just have a different document. Well, you know what? I'll let you guys watch this. Again, it's noted fall 2018, but the lab requirements haven't changed as to how you do what you do. And then how do you access that smart book? That was what it wasn't showing me before. Here's just McGraw-Hill Connect, their how to access things. So you got to watch through my little video here in a second. I show you, again, you want to be using the smart book, because that's where your chapter Learn Smarts come. As you read through the chapter and answer the questions, that is the essentially chapter homework for each chapter. I'm not sure why this isn't working. Maybe because I'm recording, I don't know. Anyway, so all that's start here. So you want to go through each and every one of these, do the quiz, do the introduction, and then when you're all done, close it up, and you're ready to jump into week 1. So every week has a start here, which just kind of summarizes what we're doing in the week, learning objectives, what you're reading and viewing, what your assignments are. And you may or may not need to read that each week. Underneath here, there's a link to the McGraw-Hill Connect. Again, that's where your Chapter 1 Learn Smart will be done through the Smart book. If you want to watch a short little intro video, I think this one's kind of cool about portable electronics, you can there. Some students like to have the PowerPoint slides for the chapter, so I've provided those. You don't necessarily need those. Maybe you want them for when you're doing the exam, but they're there. Somebody asked me years ago for them, so I put it in there. And then lab 1, let's look at what a lab looks like. So you click here to get started. And you're going to have to actually create an account if you have it and work through all the instructions for the lab. So I always have the lab listed. You're doing lab number 1, getting started, and I'll show you that in just a second. And then when you're ready, you come to the drop box, and that's where the detailed instructions are and where you actually submit. So as with every lab, 2 files and only 2 files you're uploading. The PDF that you get from the hands-on learning folks when you finish the lab, and a single picture, and in that picture, it varies depending on what the lab is. This first week, you need to be in the picture holding or showing the lab kit sticker. Again, what's the kit code? Well, that's a sticker that's on the lab kit box when you get it, so you won't really know what this is until you've got the kit in your hand. But you need to have that, and that's why you cannot submit this until you've got your lab kit in your hand. And then next to it, either a label or right on the box, I don't care, but something that has your name, your date, the date, and lab number 1 or whatever is fine. As it says here, if any of these things are missing, you won't get credit for the lab. You'll get a 0 and it'll be kicked back to you. You can fix and resubmit, but again, you're going to have late penalty points that apply. And again, I don't usually grade labs until after the end of the academic week, and it's 2 points per day. So be careful of that. Okay, but when you're ready, you click Submit Assignment, and here's where you can browse and add 1 file, and then click here to add your second file. And if you want to, say anything about it or whatever, that's fine, you can. If you use Google Drive or Office 365, you can pull the files from there. I know most students don't. You're not required to. You can just get them right off your computer if you'd like right there. And then when you're ready, click Submit Assignment. Okay, don't do this until you have both the PDF and the picture ready to go. If you submit this without one of the 2, it's a 0 and it's back to you. So don't do this until you're ready and you've got both files. All right, let's go back to modules, week 1. And student questions. Every module, every week has this. If you have questions that you want to post, remember the class is going to see them too, you're welcome to post them there. It's not required that you do that, but if you'd like to do that instead of emailing me, or maybe it's a question you think your classmates would benefit from, you're welcome to do that as well. Okay, and then a couple other links over here. Discussions, again, that takes us, we only really have 2 student questions that I just talked about, and then the introduction discussion forum where you introduce yourself. Pages, many of those links and things I had, like this was the home page, they're all here. You can click to view all pages if you want. They're all here as well. Lots of things. Grades, that's your grade book, so you'll access that probably quite a bit. People, if you want to see who's in the class, you want to send someone an email, send me, send one of your classmates, here we all are. Everyone's listed there. Office 365 is a free program. It's Microsoft Office for students. So, for instance, if you need to use that for writing up your movie summary, you're welcome to it. So there's no reason that you don't have access to Microsoft Word. I don't require you to use Excel, but if you did, or if you need it for another class, you've got it there. All RVC students have a free 365 account. And I probably will remove the class notebook because we're not going to use that either. So with that, you guys, I think that's everything. Sorry this went a little long, but that's your introduction to the class. Again, I know you've got a lot to view and read this first week. Please jump in and get started, and I hope you have a really great semester. Thank you.